Welcome everyone to my Steve Fox tutorial. In this tutorial I want to show you guys how to play Steve and everything I know about this character. First of all, I want to start with an introduction on why you want to play Steve. Overall, Steve is a really good character because he offers you a great amount of counter hit tools, like his best one is counter hit back 1 obviously, where you can get a shitload of damage from. And he also offers you a good amount of strings that you can use to bait your opponent to get extra Danny or even counter launch him by sidestepping and being in plus frames where you can use a counter tools for. What he also offers you is a very strong poking game. He has a good amount of mid pokes which are pretty safe, and the best thing about it is that they do track pretty well. Lots of his moves have pretty good tracking, like down throw 2 as a homing move, it's obvious, but also Sonic Fang has good tracking to both sides, down throw 1 is great, and also his jabs have pretty good tracking, so you don't have to worry about getting sidestepped that often, which is really good. Another plus side for his poking game is that most of his pokes are around like -1 to -4, which is ideal for range 0 situations. Because what you can do, you can get in your opponent's face, do your mid pokes, and then do sidestepping to counter head launch or counter bait your opponents if they like to jab retaliate, or your opponent has most of all really linear staff that he uses. Another strength that I have to mention is on close range is he has actually a pretty good 50-50, whoops, not this one, but down back 3-2 is a pretty scary low poke to use against your opponent because it's completely unseeable and you can get free Alcatraz down 2 of it. He's not even good at range 0, but you can also play him at farther distance like range 2, because back 1 alone is not only a good counter tool but also a very good keep out tool. The reason why is because it recovers really fast and it's hard for your opponent to actually punish it. Another reason why you can play him at this range 2 is that you can whiff punish easily with your Sonic Fang or even duck in 2 to launch him, which are pretty good tools for this range. Also what I want to mention is he has a really good wall pressure. I talk about in more detail later in the tutorial about it, and he has a great amount of combo damage that you can get. So like this, pretty easy combo, 91 damage, pretty good. For his weaknesses, Steve, I think, basically has 2 major weaknesses and some others that come to inclusion of because of these 2 ones. First, his major weakness is that he lacks of good low pokes, because they aren't really scary to your opponent. Like down 1, for example, it gives you some damage, that's true, but it's actually only +0 on hit, and you are right in your opponent's face and you duck, which means you can't even mash out like a white standing 1 or something like that, because you get beaten by dick jabs or normal jabs every time. And his other low pokes don't do that much damage. And the thing about down back 3-2 is that you have to be in range 0, which is sometimes really scary, because we throw out hop kicks and stupid shit like that, and all your work is for nothing. Another major issue he has is that he has no -15 or -16 launchers whatsoever. His fastest one is back 2, this one. The problem with it is you have to bound right away, which leaves your opponent with rage and tons of red life that he can recover. So yeah, this is pretty bad, to be honest. So you have to come up with all his good tools to open up your opponent, or else if your opponent knows Steve and know how to play against him, you can have a hard time getting in and do damage. Because your opponent can play very defensively against Steve and you will have a hard time getting damage. And by saying that, Steve requires requires lots of skill, because you have to incorporate such a great long moveset, and also his combos are sometimes pretty hard to execute, like this one for example. Yeah, I even failed now. So basically Steve's strength comes and falls with your own skill and how good your opponent knows Steve. In this section I want to show you guys the best moves of Steve in my opinion, and to start things off I want to start with the very best move Steve has. It's counter hit back one. It's easily one of the best counter hit tools in the game, and it's freaking awesome. It is 13 frame startup, and it's with flicker cancel only -3 on block, which is really good, and also +8 on hit. And the meaning of this is basically that you can not only use it as a counter hit tool, but also as a great keep out tool, because it's so freaking fast on recover, which makes it for the opponent really hard to punish. And also make sure that you cancel back one with back into flicker stance, like this. Or else, if you only do back one like this, it's only -14 on block and only +2 on hit. So always make sure to cancel it. Really good move, you can't spam this enough. The next move will be Sonic Fang, one of my favorite moves. It's also your 14 frame punisher, and it's only -12 on block. The great thing about it is it has incredibly good range. Like from this position, that was a bit too far, but like this, I can easily throw out Sonic Fang and it will hit the opponent and gives a really good wake up situation like this. So really good knockdown, and also what's really great about this move, it has really good tracking on it. It catches moving opponents like every day. So you can't really, if you see your opponent is moving like this, throw out a Sonic Fang and it will definitely hit you. Like I show you with this thing. It's really hard to move around. Can't really step it. It's really good. Even though on close range it's possible to sidestep it in both ways, but it's really hard. Let me show you guys. Come on. Like this. Like this. But it's not the way how you use Sonic Fang. So, whoops, sorry. Really good tool, and also what's important for this tool, near wall it's super dangerous. Like in this position you can do Sonic Fang and it ward slats. Just a great tool. So this is a good opportunity for Steve's wall pressure. So you can basically stand there, move around and hold the trigger, and if you see that your opponent wants to move, you can pull the trigger and get your ward splat. Really good move. Use Sonic Fang, it's a fantastic move. The next move Steve has is his wild standing 11 frame punisher, Wild Man. As you can see, it does a shitload of damage. 40 is pretty good, and it's actually +2 to +3 on hit, which is pretty decent, and only -12 on block. It's natural combo of course, and you can also use it as a counter tool. Maybe if you want to throw out white standing 1, delay it a bit, and then counter them with 2, which gives a good knockdown, like this. So you get good Danny around 45, it's pretty good. So definitely a great move, and also one of your main bounce you will use. And the next move I want to talk about is quarter circle forward 1, this one. It's a move I don't use that often because of my shitty execution, but I should definitely use it. It's a freaking good mid poke. It has great range, come on, and it's only -4 on hit if you cancel it with a flicker. So it also looks like this. It's amazing mid poke, you can't use it enough. It's also ideal for wall pressure like this. Really good move. The next great move Steve has is this one, 2-1. Really good move to set up frame traps, because if you hold forward to go into peekaboo or holding back by going to flicker, it's actually +3 on block, which is really good. So you can set up counter hits like this, or you can mash 1-2 in peekaboo. So really good move. You can cancel it around, so you have really good plus frames on it. It jails, it's safe, and it also has an extension which you can use as a counter hit tool at a wall. 2-1 and then a 2 delayed. Sometimes it catches people, so you can get a nice wall splat. Good move all in all. I wouldn't recommend overusing 2-1-2, but 2-1 on its own, it's a freaking good move. Really good. Also, what makes Steve's really strong, as I already told you about, is his jabs. They also have really good tracking. The 1-1 is a counter hit combo, really good, does really good damage, and you can actually cancel the jabs after 1-1 by holding back into your stances or holding forward into peekaboo. And also the extension 1-1-2 is good. Make also sure that you afterwards be pressing forward 3 to duck, so that basically makes it safe. So jabs are really good, also really track really well, like I want to show you in this part. After down forward 1, I can't even sidestep left. Tracks completely, and sidestep right, the third hit catches me. So his jabs have really good tracking. Alrighty then. Another great move Steve has, and one of his best, maybe not his best lowest poke, is full crouch down forward 1, this one. It goes right into peekaboo, and the same move in peekaboo is down 1. Both are the same moves. His best low poke in my opinion, and it's actually only -12 on block, which is really good for a low poke, and +2 on hit, which is not too bad because it gives you opportunity to move around a bit or even jab after it. So I think it's the best low poke Steve has. Can definitively use it, and also maybe after duck in you can cancel it and then do a down forward 1, which is really good, and you're right into your opponent's face with peekaboo. Pretty good low poke. And the next great low poke he has is actually down back 3-2. This move is I think the only reason why people actually want to duck Steve, because it's on close range, such a dangerous move, completely unseeable, 15 frame fast, 31 damage with a free Alcatraz down 2 on it, really good. But what sucks about this move is the range. It's really bad. Like this, it won't connect. It sucks ass. So you have to be right into your opponent's face to mix him up with your mid pokes like this, or I don't know, all your mid pokes you have, and maybe then if he's just blocking mids, go for your down back 3-2. Good move, especially at the wall. It's really dangerous because your opponent can't go anywhere else, so it makes him, yeah, it's a great mix up at the wall with quarter circle forward 1 or down back 3-2. Steve's punishers are really weird in my opinion. At early frames he has strong punishment, and at later frames it's getting really weak. Because let's start with a standing punisher. For -10 you can either use your 1-2 jabs, does 22 damage, gives you a decent amount of plus frames, so you can pummel your opponent after it. Or if you want to go for more damage, you can actually use 1-1-2, which does a good chunk of damage. 33 is not too bad, but it's only +1 on hit, which kinda sucks a bit in my opinion, cause you have to take that damage you get, and after it have to back up, cause you can't really mash out things. For -11 he has nothing. For 12 he only has 2-1, which does 4 less damage than his 10 frame punishers, so I would recommend to you use your 1-1-2 as a low frame punisher. For -13 actually he has back 1-2. It's decent, I guess. It has decent range, 35 damage, gives you some plus frames, not too bad, not too bad. You can definitely use it. For -14 he actually gets Sonic Fang, does 28 damage, which could be definitely be more. This is something I don't like about Steve, that you only get 28 damage for -14 move, and also higher, cause he doesn't have -15 or -16. But the good thing about Sonic Fang is the range. That means you can punish things like Heihachi's forward forward 2 consistently, which is really good. So as I mentioned, for -15, -16 Steve doesn't have anything. So for -17 we can actually get a launch with pack 2, like this. So you should use it if you want to punish your opponents for their unsafe moves. Unfortunately, not a lot of mid moves are -17 or more that the opponent does. But hey, it's something we need to take with Steve. It's better than nothing. And for any higher frames, I don't even care. Like, up forward 2 is way too slow, shitty move, and up forward 4 as a punisher, also completely useless. Wild standing is a bit easier for Steve. For 11 frames you get the super good wild standing 1-2, the Wild Man, 40 damage, amazing move. This is really good for Steve, the wild standing 11 punisher. For 12, 13 and 14 he has nothing. For 15 you can use wild standing 2, but why would you use it? No reason to do that, because it doesn't even launch, only on counter hit. And for, let me check, I think it's -17 or -19. Where do we have wild standing 1+2? There we are. Oh, it's actually 18, 19 frames fast. Wild standing 1+2 is your main wild standing launcher. And before you think this move seems to be bad, it's actually really good, because it's a consistent long range wild standing punisher, and you can also easily punish things like Dragon Tail. One moment please, I will show you. If you block Dragon Tail, some characters don't get the punish, but Steve gets it all the time. And you don't really, I don't know if you know, but lots of low moves which are actually launch punishable are even -18 or 19, so you can punish your opponent pretty good with wild standing 1+2. So to sum it up, early frame punishment, Steve is really strong, so you should remember for standing 1-1-2 as a 10 frame, you don't really have to bother with back 1-2. I think 1-1-2 is good enough, so you don't have to memorize so much things, and -14 for long range or back 2. And for wild standing you only have to remember wild standing 1-2 and wild standing 1+2. So his punishers, as I said, are pretty weird. At early frames very strong, later frames pretty weak, unfortunately. Let's cover Steve's stances. In this part I want to show you all of Steve's stances and all the useful moves they have. I'm going to start with Steve's sways. He has actually two kinds of it. The first one is the left sway, which is done by pressing 3, and the second one is the right sway, executed by pressing 4. In my opinion, the best use for these sways is to do an actual sidestep before you do this sway, because you can evade way more things if you do this. Like you see, you cover way more ground with sidestep and a sway. And the useful moves out of the left sway is actually 1-1. This is a natural combo hit confirmable move which knockdowns and gives a big chunk of damage. Don't delay too much or else it gets blocked, and it's pretty punishable on block. Let me double check. It is -13. So make sure you hit confirm it right to get the true combo and be safe by just pressing the 1. An alternative he also has, instead of left sway 1-1, you can do left sway 1, hold forward 1-1, like this. This is also a great move. It's natural combo, gives you great amount of plus frames on hit, and is also actually +4 on block if you cancel it, or +3 if you not cancel it. So good plus frames on that, pretty useful move. The next one I talk about is left sway 2, is this shoulder. Fantastic mid poke, it's super safe, it's only +0 to -1 on block, and by holding forward you can actually go into peekaboo and you're right into your opponent's face. So this is a pretty good move. The left sway 2 has an extension with it. It's 2-1 actually. This is a natural counter hit combo like this. Safe on block, it does okay damage, but I don't think that's that good of a move. I think Steve has better ones, but you can use it if you want, why not? And if a second hit counter hits, it actually gives you a nice knockdown like this. So you can... Oh, you can't even get a guaranteed down back 2. Nice to know. But nonetheless, it gives you a nice knockdown situation for good Oki. So now I'm going to cover his right sway. First of all, the right sway 1. This is this part of a shoulder. Has the same properties like the left sway, also insanely good mid poke. Goes right into peekaboo if you hold forward, and only +0 to -1 on block. The right sway shoulder extension is the 1-2. It's actually the better one, because this is a counter hit launcher. And also tech brothel. Unfortunately, it leaves the opponent, it flips over the opponent. So not every character can get a good combo after it. But it's definitely usable. I recommend you to use it, because it already covers good ground, like you see this. And it's only -12 on block, so not too bad, definitely usable. The other option Steve has is right sway 2, it's this one. I personally like this move, it's not too bad, it's a nice knockdown and it prevents your opponents from doing dick jabs. But be careful though, as this move is -13 actually, so pretty punishable. Alrighty then. The next move stance is the back sway. It's this one. By holding back 3 or back 4 you can go into the back sway. And the most useful move out of it, I think, is the back sway 1. It's also really good mid poke. It's 35 damage, gives you massive plus frames on hit, and it's only +0 to -1 on hit. On block, which is pretty damn good for this move. It's also a bound move you can use. The other useful part of it is the 1+2 throw. It's push forward, and at the wall you can actually get 1-1-2 guaranteed. Also, what is mentionable is that if you push them 90 degrees to the wall, you can also get free quarter circle forward 1, but this is pretty hard to execute. You should definitely practice it if you want to use it, but it's also very situationable, I have to admit. By pushing them to other sides, you just simply do a throw and then do any direction you want. Whoops, like, come on. Back. If you do nothing, we push them forward. If you hold down to this side, up to that side. So that's pretty usable. And the last thing that is mentionable but not very usable is the sway 2. It's a 40 frame launcher actually, but not very useful as the range is pretty shitty, as you can see. and it's minus 18 on block, so super punishable. I wouldn't recommend to use it. Good. The next stance he has is the duck-in stance. This is one very important stance Steve has. You have 3 options out of it. The duck-in 1, safe launcher, you can use like this. The duck-in hold forward 2, like this. It's a very nice move, pretty safe on block, only around like -2. Let me check if I can find it. There we are. Duck 2 is -14, I know that. Yeah, I'm right, -4 only. Pretty good. And the good thing about this, you can go straight after you did the forward 2, you can do a neck duck-in like this. So you can high crush your opponent and do a duck-in 1, for example, to counter bait him. Pretty nice. And the last option you actually have is duck-in 2, this one. It's a pretty good long-range punisher. Tech buffable launcher, pretty useful, but -14 on block, so you have to be aware some of your opponents can actually launch them, like Kazuya, or you get a massive -14 punisher in your face. And what else is there? Yeah, extended duck, I totally forgot. So to go into extended duck, you only have to do the normal duck and then hold your 3 and forward. Hold 4 and forward, like this. And all his 3 options are getting better and getting blue sparks. Like this one, it's actually launcher, tech buffable launcher with more damage. This one becomes actually +3 on block, which is really good, so you can definitely set up crane traps with it. And this one is also getting safe. Yeah, then it's only -9 and super high launcher. Pretty nice to have. So these are basically the stances you enter with your 3 or 4 buttons, with your kicks. And one funny thing about it is that you can actually cancel all of these ways and back sways, duck-ins with any direction you press, and he does another stance of it. For example, if you do duck-in and then hold up, you do the left sway. And you can do this continuously, do something like this. Pretty nice to know. Maybe you can have a better use for it. Nice to have. So before I go to flicker and peekaboo stance, I wanna mention real quick the Alcatraz stance. It's a 3+4 spin like this. It's called Alcatraz. You have 2 options actually. The Alcatraz 2 is a pretty good mid move, knocks down, nice to have, or Alcatraz down 2 for a mix-up for low. But yeah, pretty slow, so I wouldn't recommend to overuse it. Maybe if you are in a distance you can do like something like this. Can be useful, but it's okay. And you can also do a second spin by pressing up or by pressing down. And if you do the second spin, the commands changes for his mid and his low. So you actually do the 1 or down 1 for the low. That's pretty much it. One thing there is to say is if you're in the back like this, you can spin your way out of it. And one funny thing is if you do the low, Steve turns back around, which can be pretty useful. So you can do pretty funny stuff to confuse your opponent. It's just funny stuff, not that usable in a match, but hey, just so you guys saw it. Good. Now we can go to the 2 main stances. First of all, the flicker stance, and I would call this the defensive stance, to be honest. You go manually into flicker by pressing back 3+4, like this, and you cancel it by pressing down back. This is pretty important. Make sure you guys can cancel flicker pretty good, because it's also a fantastic tech cancel. And if you do it a little better like me, you actually don't really see that Steve is ducking. So really good tech cancel, and the move that makes most of Steve's moves safe. The best options out of it is FLIK at 2, a safe mid knockdown move, and you can get a guaranteed down back 2 after it, which is pretty good. Another useful move is FLIK 2, this one. Gives you a guaranteed forward 2 after it. Nice to have also for whiff punish. And the most useful thing is this back 1 series, like this one. This is really important for FLIK stance, because after every back 1, after 1 or 2 back 1s actually, you can press either down or down back 1 to get this one. This is a really good move, because this is actually +0 on block, so you can set up some train traps, and if it sits on counter, like this, you get a guaranteed down back 2, which gives a good load of damage, pretty useful. But be careful, all of this is a high, and the opponent can duck it, so to mix it up, you can do forward 1. Also like 1 or 2 back 1s, you can actually do a forward 1. This is a safe mid option, also counter hit combo. Very useful. And that's all already it for FLIK stance. Pretty simple to remember, I guess. Not too many moves. And now now we come to one of my favorite stances, is Peekaboo. Mainly doing by forward 3+4. You go into Peekaboo. And I'm going to start with Peekaboo 2. It's a high homing move, safe, and the cool thing about it is it's a counted launcher, and it has a built-in punch parry in it. So basically what you can do is pressing 2 Peekaboo 2s, and you can get this animation, the auto parry, or as I said, it's counter head launcher, like you can see there. Pretty useful move. I definitely recommend it to you to use this move. Another great move he has is Peekaboo down forward 2. This elbow is only minus, I think it's 11 or minus 12. Oh, it's only minus 10, that's even better. So great mid launcher you have. It's an elbow, tech buffable as you can see, and does good damage. And it's also 16 frame fast, so pretty good. The next useful move is down 1, Steve's best low poke in my opinion. Really fast, does at least 60 damage, is not too bad. Excuse me. And it's +2 on hit, which is not too bad. So you can actually mash your opponent with 1-2. It's uninterruptible. And this 1-2 is really strong out of Peekaboo. Good tracking, really good damage. 31 is really good. And the 1-2 has an extension with a 1 after it. It's a nice counter tool I like to use. It is only -13 to -12 on block, so not too shabby I guess. And it gives you massive frame advantage on counter hit. It's actually +8 to +9. So really good, and your opponent is crouching. So after this connects, you can do everything you want with your opponent. Really nice to have. The next options I mention is the down 2. This is a really hard low poke. Just sick damage, 31. It's also only -12, I think. Down 2, yes, -12, and +7 on hit. Unfortunately for this move it's seeable. 28 frame fast, so everyone can see it, and unfortunately you can't really use this move. The next option is his aris strings. For Peekaboo, the down forward 1 series is pretty good, because this is actually a counter hit launcher, like this. Or the first 2 hits are always guaranteed. Either down forward 1-1 is pretty useful, or down forward 1-2, like this. You can also get a guaranteed down back 2. This is pretty useful. And one other thing, if you see that the second hit is counter hit, all this is guaranteed, and holy shit, it does good damage. So like, Merry Christmas, have fun with all the stuff. So definitely a string you can use, you can play around with. Some things, if you do the whole string, this is actually minus 13, so yeah, you can get punished, at least not launch punishable, which is good. And the second string he has is back 1121. This is completely safe because you can cancel it with a flicker at the end, you see, and cancel it. This makes it safe. It has nearly the same properties as the first one. Sure, it's not a counter launcher, but if the second hit is counter hit, whoops, everything is guaranteed. Unfortunately, it has a high in it, the second hit, so you can definitely get duck punished for it, so don't overuse it. Good. Now to the last two options. If you need a lightning screw or something like that, you can do Steve's uppercut, up forward 2. Tech buffable, mid launcher, relatively fast, but yeah, it's launch punishable and easier to punish than lightning screw, definitely. So yeah, don't throw it out, that's way too risky, but at least it crushes highs and lows, so that's pretty useful. And the last option, risky option, is this backswing blow, back 2. It's actually not that bad, to be honest. It has good evasion on it, and it's only minus 14, so you don't even get launched by most of the characters. Nice to have. So that basically sums up all of his peekaboo stuff. Really every move of it has its use, so except down 2, because this is seeable. But every other move I told you now is definitely usable, so you can play around with it. I basically like the most 1, 2 and this string, and also 2 of course, and down forward 2. These are the main ones I use, and of course down 1. Oops, this one. The others are also usable. So, to sum everything up, I want to show you guys the main moves where you use the stances, cause all of them are pretty useful and some of them are necessary, like the flicker one. So, to enter flicker cancel stance, the main moves you use are forward to 1 to go into flicker, quarter circle forward 1 to go into flicker to save it up, back 1 of course, then 1 to 1 holding back is pretty usable. And did I forget anything? Maybe you can use down forward 1 to 1 to go into flicker, but that's basically all of the useful move to go into flicker stance. For peekaboo, it has some similarities to flicker. You can use 2-1 holding forward, go into flicker, 1-1 holding forward of course, forward 2-1 you can use. What's the forward 1 plus 2? But I don't really use that much, I don't like it. And of course full crouch down forward 1 to go into flicker, peekaboo. It's very important. And yeah, these are the most important moves for flicker and peekaboo to get in. The duck cancel is also usable and useful for some moves to save it up, like 1-1-2, or even 1-1 to bait your opponent. If he likes to jab retaliate, you can duck in and then boom, launch him. Also very important where you have to use the duck in is down to 1, forward 3. So this makes it a low mid poke, which is completely safe. So yeah, these are all of Steve's stances. I hope you learned something from it. How to do Steve's combo. In Steve's staple combo, like this one, there are actually two hard parts in it. The first one, and I had the most trouble with, is the forward 2 flicker and then duck in 3. The hard part about this is the timing, because after you press forward to 1 and go into flicker, you can access the forward 3 very early. This is the first one that you have to realize, because after it the while standing 1-2 will actually connect if you do it early enough. So what you have to do is basically practice forward to 1, hold back, and then do forward 3. Do this until you get rid of the timing and know when you can actually enter the duck in. This is the first part you have to realize and to practice, and the second part is actually the duck in cancel. Forward 3 into down back. So the first thing you should do is press forward 3, then hold down back to see when he's ducking. Maybe you can also add a dig jab to visually see when he's ducking and when you can enter moves. And then you only have to let go of down back and do while standing 1-2. This is the second part of the combo. And if you get these two things good to go, you should actually do the combo pretty consistent. Oops, missed input there. But it's still hard to do, as you can see. I also like dropping it, but there, second try, and you're good to go. So these are basically the two things you have to practice. Forward to 1, that you can access very early into the duck in, and then just the duck in cancel, and while standing 1-2. So now I want to show you some useful information with Steve on how to punish slides and punish capos, as well as other good tools you can use with Steve, some more mid pokes, low pokes and so on, and also 2 ways how to get into your opponent. So the first one is actually how to punish a slide with Steve, because you will see down forward 1 but while standing 1 won't connect. Only very rare, but it's totally unreliable. So what you do is forward 4-2 as a slide punish. So just like this, and then you can get a nice combo of it. 50 damage, pretty good to punish a slide. So practice doing the forward 4-2 into your slide punish combo after this round. This is a real useful information you need to punish slide. The next one, how to punish the relax stance from capos, because Steve actually has 2 really nice tools. First of all, you can use, wait a second, lay down. You can use forward 4-2, this will connect to punish the relax. And another awesome tool, first of all I show you, forward 4-2, pretty nice, also from farther distance to punish the opponent, and if we get up in some way you can actually bind them, it's really good. So nice way to punish relax stance. And up close, if you can't really do the forward motion so quick, you can also do back 2. Whoops. So come on. There we go. Back 2 will totally connect, which is pretty good. And also, if we do a move, as you saw there, you get the complete launch, which is pretty nice. So if we do a move, you can also get a full combo. So I totally recommend to you using back 2 as a punish for relax stance. Boom. Super important. Alright. So now to more useful moves with Steve. As I showed you, back 2, great mid move for Steve. The only reason why I didn't put this into his best moves is because you have to bind right away, and this leaves your opponent with tons of red life to recover and also rage, which sucks about this moves, but besides that, it's a nice mid option you have with Steve and also his fastest launcher, so I totally recommend you to use it. Another good mid move, of course, is down forward 1. Always use it, great mid poke, 13 frame fast, completely safe, and you can also do down forward 1-2 as an extension for 29 damage. Be careful though, because this is not jailing, so you can actually get duck launched for it. But still, down forward 1 its own, great mid poke for Steve. Definitely use it. Another good mid poke is down forward 2. Mid homing move, completely safe, but it's -9 in block, so you can't really move around after this gets blocked. And it's +3 on hit. And the good thing about it's a counter launcher, as you can see. You get a combo out of it. The only thing what sucks is that the forward 2 is not always connecting. You can actually miss it like that. And I don't know, I really don't understand why Namco did this. Because if you see, for example, like last down forward 2, it has a way better counter hit stun than Steve's. And I really think it sucks that you can miss it. That's also the reason why I didn't put this up into his best moves. But still, great mid poke you can use, and yeah, nice move, use it. And for other low pokes, you can also use down 1. Sometimes throw it in because you can get at least 18 damage, but you don't really mash after it because it's only +0 on hit, which sucks. Just back off after it and see what the opponent does. Sometimes throw it in, pretty nice to have. And the second low poke for Steve is down to 1. It's not a natural combo actually. Got everything, as you can see. But the great part about it, that's a complete safe low poke if you cancel it with a forward 3. So basically you do down to 1, then do instant forward 3 to duck in and cancel it by pressing down back. This makes it completely safe, which is nice to have, but as it's completely safe, you never get plus frames out of down to 1, basically. Because every time your opponent will block the mid one, and then you ride into your opponent's circle with minus frames, which kinda is sad a little bit, but it's a very nice way to end the round because of its low mid. Really nice to have to end the round. And plus, you can get the extension down to 1-2, the high one, because this one is a counter launch, as you can see there. You have to be in your opponent's set to use it, because it's not jailing and you can get duck launched. But definitely sometimes you can throw it in, because you can also delay it quite a bit, like this. Yeah, so to bait your opponent to a counter launch. So you can sometimes use it, practice around a little bit what works for you the best. And as I said, good way to end the round. And the next good mid poke is up forward 1. Another nice tool. Good thing about it is that it's low crushing, pretty decent, has good range, completely safe, and it's only around -5 or -6 on block actually, so you're still good to go to move around, and you get some nice plus frames after it hits. So nice move you can use, definitely use it. Also nice for Oki situations on the end of a combo. So I can set it up, I think. Let me see. Can't really set the combo up now, unfortunately. Yeah, but this. It spikes the opponent right to the ground to get your Oki game done. Oh, by the way, I totally forgot the Oki game. If your opponent is knocked down, to the ground, you can actually have down forward 1 as an Oki option. If your opponent doesn't do anything, you can go straight to the dick jab by pressing down back 1, because this will also float opponents if they quick rise. And if he still doesn't do anything, you can maybe get them with wide standing 1. Same properties as down forward 1, so it can pick up opponents really good. So basically Steve's Oki game up close is down forward 1. If he doesn't do anything, dick jab, and then instant down wide standing 1. These are 3 good moves to get your opponent floating and do more damage. The next one is forward to 1. For example, Sonic Fang. If he quick rise or want to back roll, it always catch them. So definitely a good move you can use as Oki tool. Forward to 1. So come on. Yeah, like this. And boom. Easy extra damage for it. Alright, that's it for the usual moves, and now 2 more ways to get into your opponent. I recommend to you that you should practice while running moves, because Steve's running 2 is a really good one actually. It gives you 3 damage on hit if you don't backroll it. You can actually get a forward 2 as guaranteed damage if you don't backroll it, or as an easy option down back 2. And the good thing about his running 2 is that you right into your opponent's face, and if he block it, you add +9. So you can always throw in a down back 3-2 for example to get decent Danny. And another move that you should practice is the crouch cancel. Basically forward 3 into down back to cancel it, you're in full crouch then. And then you can instantly go for another forward 3 into down back. Do this multiple times, so you can get a better forward motion. You can also do it better like me, I'm not a total expert in it. But the good thing about this, you're completely high crushing the whole time. And you can go right into your opponent's face, ducking, and you can do down forward 1 instantly. So you're right into your opponent's face with peekaboo. It's really nice, and yeah, definitely use crouch cancel. Crouch cancel, duck and cancel. Do it multiple times as so you can get rid of it and get used to it. Useful way to get in your opponent and do some damage. Steve has an amazing wall game and becomes a living nightmare for the opponent if he's against the wall. In this wall pressure game, Steve's shoulders are super useful and really scary for the opponent, just because they are so good on block, just only +0 to -1, and he can go right into peekaboo to mix the opponent up with down 1, which is super annoying against the wall, because the opponent can't go anywhere. So I highly recommend you guys to use always Steve's shoulders like this. You get so much damage out of it, and the opponent can't really do so many things, because the jabs will totally whiff and you can easily punish them again and get the full wall splat. Or if you don't want to go for a punish, the mid shoulders will drain so much HP from the opponent. It's amazing. So another great thing about the wall game of Steve, he can't only use down 1 as his only low poke, but down back 3-2, as I mentioned previously, is a super scary mix-up for the opponent. Super annoying at the wall, unseeable, and you get lots of damage from it, and the opponent has to stand up right away to guess the next 50-50. So basically what you can do is harass the opponent all day long with the shoulders and do peekaboo mix-ups like 1-2, down 1, the strings, and if you feel that the opponent does stupid stuff, go for right sway and 2 to knock him to the wall, or you can use your safe wall splat options like quarter circle forward 1, which is one of the best mid option he has for a wall. It's such a long range mid poke, and it's wall splatting really consistently, which is perfect. Or the third option you have, it's also a safer one, is the left sway 1-1. If you hit confirm it, does amazing damage and the opponent is almost dead. So, just like this. Pretty easy damage you can get there. Let me show you. Yeah, 105 out of this, and it's a really safe option for him. Amazing wall game. Another thing that I want to mention is that he's not only super scary at close to the wall, if the opponent can't go anywhere, but also like around this position actually, where Sonic Fang will actually wall splat. The cool thing about this, you can actually give your opponent the feeling that he is actually safe and don't get a wall splat if he sits. So basically you can move around like in this direction and wait for the opponent to move, because as I showed you earlier, if he tries sidewalk and sidestep and you can see it and recognize it, don't be afraid of throwing in Sonic Fang, because this will happen. You get super high damage and he's right to a wall, so this is also amazing tool for Steve, Sonic Fang, and also quarter circle forward 1 will actually wall splat, if I can do it. Let me show you. So yeah, even this, not for real wall splat, but he's, as you see, he's again to the wall and you can do all your mix-ups. So the closer Steve gets to the wall, his opponent to the wall, the scarier he is, and his wall pressure is really amazing. So always use the shoulders and go right into peekaboo to do down 1, and you can mid-poke him out of it. Such an amazing wall pressure game. Team suggestions. Before I move on, I just want to say that you should also always play the characters that you like, and not the characters that may be the strongest ones but you don't like at all, because you will be more effective with the characters you like, basically. But if you do look for a partner that fits with Steve, you should look for 3 aspects, basically, that I found out. The number 1 is you should find a partner who can work with Steve's tech assault fillers, because sometimes it is pretty hard to get something after like this tech assault filler. And the second one I have to mention is that the partner you have should get at least a pretty decent back turn combo, because you can actually tech assault this one and this one. So it's not too bad if a partner can have a good back turn combo. And the third one is it's really necessary that you find someone who can flip the opponent around, like Jin I show you there. So these are basically the 3 things you should look out for if you want to find someone to play Steve with. So I want to show you guys these 5 characters I have picked. This list is definitely not complete, but for good characters you could also definitely use Murdoch. He's one of the best partners with Steve you can use, because his throw is easily set up with Steve's tech assault fillers. He has an awesome move to flip the opponent around, and does overall very, very good damage with Steve. Glass is also easy choice to pick, because yeah, Glass just can do everything. It's super easy to pick him and very good partner for Steve. Also, Miguel is a good partner, as you see. I mained them a long time. Miguel works pretty good with Steve's fillers. He always with Wallfiller fillers, he has something to turn the opponent around, and can also has a good combo with back turn. Pretty good team. And also a good team that is played very often is Steve and Brian. I see this team so much. It's amazing. So if you play Brian and want to pick another partner, maybe you can play Steve now. And also Jin is pretty decent, I guess. He also works pretty well with Steve's tech assault fillers, and also can flip the opponent over, as you saw in my previous combo. Unfortunately, he doesn't have good things to juggle the opponent in the back, but it's also a pretty decent character. Also, you can pick mainly all Mishimas, we work pretty decent, and yeah, but basically pick a character you like and you're good to go. But these 5 characters here I can suggest you. I tested them. They work pretty good with Steve. Let's go for some anti-Steve threats and how you deal certain moves. The number 1 rule that you have to keep in mind is that you should be very patient against Steve, so he doesn't force you to jab retaliate or yeah, something stupid that you feel too much pressure and want to do anything against him, because if you're just blocking every mid and highs he has and wait for your opponent to do some riskier stuff, like maybe even get him and do down back v2, or you can duck some of his strings, you're pretty much good to go, because Steve has obviously having a hard time to get into your opponent who is always blocking, because the slow pokes aren't that scary. Like this does no damage. This is also not so scary. The only scary lows he has is, as I mentioned, down back 3-2, and this is really risky to do, because if you duck it, you can you can launch him right away and get lots of damage. So always make sure to be very patient against him. Don't press that much buttons. Wait for your opponent to do some, or better said, wait for Steve to do some riskier stuff and punish it. And another thing that I need to say is some dig jabs, some well-placed dig jabs will obviously help you very much against Steve. Like maybe sometimes throw a dig jab in if he does this one and likes to attack after it. So like a down forward, full crouch down forward 1 or peekaboo down forward 1, because none of his option can really beat the dig jab except the super risky uppercut, or he has to sway against dig jabs. But it's not something that Steve will do all the time, so some well-placed dig jabs will cut his offense down. So definitely use some down jabs against Steve. Not every time, don't be predictable with it, or else you get crushed with the uppercut, or maybe this move, or get counter hit by this one. But again, don't be too predictable with your down jabs and you're good to go. Also, make always sure to punish some mid-high strings. Like for example, forward to 1, this is a mid-high, doesn't jail. Make sure that you can actually duck it. It's a little bit tricky. Practice it maybe around 2-3 minutes and you're good to go with it. So you can launch him for this one. And this one is not very scary because you can actually see the net. The forward to 1, 2 is it? Yeah. So launch this one. And also very important, from peekaboo, back 1-1 to 1, the second hit is always the highest and does not jail. So you can always punish him for this string and practice it to duck the string. It's also very nice, so he can't abuse the string because it's safe. Else. Always make sure that you launch down back 3-2 if you duck it. And also if he only does the down back 3 on its own, this is not safe at all on block. It's also -15, so always launch him if you duck the down back 3-2. Keep this in mind. And now I want to talk about some of his peekaboo moves, because this is stance that most of the people find very scary, and if you don't know how to handle it, you're pretty much screwed. Because this is super annoying if he just pummels you to death and you don't know when to stab, when to punish, and so on. So basically, if he just repeats doing down 1 in peekaboo, I definitely can recommend you to throw in a dig jab. Or if he starts to do like this string and wants to mix you with it up, this is definitely not very safe on block. This one is actually around -8, I think. Let me double check this real quick so I don't give you any false information. I think that's really relatively minus on block. It's still safe, but you can interrupt him after it. So down forward 1-1, Oh, even better, it's -10. So this string, don't be afraid of this string. You can actually punish this with jabs. It's -10. The third one is -11, so you can also punish him. And the good thing, if you see the third one, he can't delay the last one. So you can easily get the punish after 3 of his moves. It's -11, punish that. And if he does a 4th string and you block it, it's -13. So make sure to maximum punish him for it. Punish him for it, yeah. Also remember 4-4-2, if you spam it and you block it, it's -13 and you're at crouch. So if you have, if you play maybe Kazuya, you can actually launch him with white standing 1-2, or Bruce can launch with a 13 frame punisher, or yeah, use your best punisher to punish this one, to punish 4-4-2. And also, don't let you get counterbaited by this one. Make sure to look at your opponent when he's actually crouch cancelling, or if he just waits and wants to do the 2, be patient and duck it and launch him, so you don't get counter hit by this. Also, as I mentioned, be patient, that's very important. Don't jab retaliate, because some of the strings are actually safe, like especially this one is a common setup. The 1-2-1-2, duck in and then duck in 2. Because if you jab retaliate, you get totally crushed and launched. So be patient about it, don't jab retaliate, that's very important. And if you block it, make sure that you punish the duck in 4 with a -14 punisher. This is actually easy to punish, and yeah, don't forget that. So, what else is there? Down forward 1-2 if we spam this, but I don't believe, but some of them do. It's also, it doesn't jail, so make sure to duck launch it. This one isn't really scary, also this is seeable after down forward 1-2-2. What else? This is -15, -14 to -15. So they won't throw it out, and if we do, punish them. What else? Oh yeah, one important thing. This 1-1-2 punish. If you get hit by it, you can actually throw something in, because it's only +1 on hit. And yeah, just don't freeze and move, and see what your opponent does next. So this is that's scary, because sure it does damage, but it's only +1 at hit, so you can pretty much do something, and don't freeze against them. Yeah, make sure to launch your uppercut, this is something I have to say. Don't jab retaliate after Peekaboo 2, that's very important. Overall, just be patient, and you will have a better time against Steve, obviously.